it well, and that's kind of like guitar today. You had people that would just accompany singing all the way to the so you had everything in between. Similar to what guitarists today, you have all different styles, different types. Let's see if I can possibly not fall over and break something. It'll probably come off in a little while. So that song will be kind of the constant going through the instruments. So definitely plunky by comparison to modern. And it would have been a full step higher. This is tuned down one full step because of tension. But you get an idea. Now it looks like a guitar, was called a guitar, and popularity exploded all over Europe. We started having builders all around. Now, being 10 strings, the pegs on here, there are 10 different pegs, and there are 5 different designs, and some are Indian rosewood, some are Brazilian rosewood, and some are ebony. And different sizes and shapes, I have no idea. This could be 200 years old, it could be 50 years old. If you broke one, which is pretty easy when you're using tension tuning, go to your friendly local violin builder, get a violin peg and cram it in there. So a lot of them have been crammed in. It'd be interesting if we could talk. You know, how many, in teaching, I'll set this in the lap of one of my students. As long as they don't have buttons or a belt or a big chunk of jewelry around their neck so it gets carved up, I'll put it in and let them play it and say, you know, everything written for the instrument at that time was, they were all love songs. So you wonder who played it, who did they play it for, what did they play, did it work? You know, and it's, 8th grade, their hormones are going crazy anyway. This beautiful little thing was built in 1835. And now there's no question, it looks like a guitar. It looks like a small parlor guitar. It was built in Mirecourt, France, which is a small town outside of London, outside of Paris. And the entire town was guitar and violin builders. The whole town. So if you were there, you did something connected with guitars. They did mass production before Henry Ford. You would have one person in a family that probably did nothing but carve necks. You'd have another older son who learned how to steam and bend the wood. And someone else, as they got older and got more responsibility on building, that they were usually family processes. And this one is sat in an attic for about 80 years. It was in many pieces, but the neck is a solid chunk of ebony, which is like granite. So nothing had happened to it, wasn't warped, it was just totally taken apart and put back together for the second time and got a new life. The builder was a man named John Lacote, but it isn't signed that. It says, imported and sold by S. Chappelli, music seller to His Majesty the King, 50 New Bond Street, London. And I've had this for about 30 years. And about 5 years ago, I thought, I should type in 50 New Bond Street, London, and see what comes up. They don't tear down anything in England. You might use Starbucks now, or who knows. But it popped up, Chappelle Music, 185th year. So I emailed them, and they dated it for me. They said it was Mirecourt, and Lacote, it was from great-great-grandfather's first shipment when he first started dealing with them. So they wanted pictures of it, and so pretty cool. Now, Brazilian rosewood is an international band, tropical rainforest, and this is elephant tusk ivory, so it's a double environmental whammy, which is legal on an antique, but not anything new unless you have the proper certification. Now, this is these are gut strings. They were tuned 20 minutes ago. There we go. Close enough. A gut string has an amber color to it. They're thicker than nylon, and they have a beautiful, rich, sweet tone. But that's all you get is a dark color. And And so nylon, basically, very high quality fish line. And it is, if you look at, under a microscope, fish line, you have all these imperfections, microscopic little cracks. Guitar string, it's perfect, and that's the way they're made in different tensions. Well, I'll give you an idea of what music of this period. Fernando Sor was the main guitar player, guitar teacher, guitar composer in the 1830s when this was built. So if he had a student, he would, instead of taking out your Mel Bay guitar book and say, take page 13, 14, and 15, he would write a piece specifically for the student. We don't do that now. So 95% of the pieces he wrote are all studies, called Estudio, number 293. This is just an example of his music on an instrument that it was written for.